So hi and welcome to this video. I know last time I said I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing, and I talked about maybe doing the news feed. But as part of the news feed, I'm going to add a feature called poking, which is like Facebook, and I'm going to allow people to poke people from the news feed. But obviously, to be able to do that, I actually need the feature programmed and created. So that's what we'll be doing today, and then hopefully next time we'll be getting started on the newsfeed. So I'm going to add the poke option in the profile page because once we've created it for the profile page, it'll be quite easy just to simply recreate for the newsfeed. So down here where it says add as the add as friend buttons and the okay, so it's in here with a username. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to copy this and I'll change this to poke, and then obviously I'll change this to poke. So if we refresh, we have a poke button, and I might change this from poke to I don't know, I'll just change it to save space. Okay, so you can change this to send MSG, and then no shift space. So now we have the P. Okay, so actually that doesn't look right, so I'll change that to poke, and up here where it says add as friend, I'll just say add friend. So if we refresh, now it all fits. So we're going to do something similar to Facebook where you can poke users and wait for them to poke you back, and it's just kind of a stupid game. But we're going. I think we should do it. So what we'll do is in here we'll say poke code. So we'll say if at post poke. All we're going to do is simply insert it into a database table called pokes. So that's what we will do now. So as you can see, I've created a new database table called pokes, and in the structure of the table it's just 3 fields. The ID obviously the same as always, an integer that's auto incremented and set to the primary key, and then the other 2 are just for chars of length 255. So that's all it is really to this table. And now we've done that, we can actually start inserting pokes. So what we'll say is MySQL query, and we'll create a MySQL query that will be called insert. I could say poke user equals MySQL query insert into our pokes. I believe I called it. So insert into pokes values so I think it's as simple as and all we do is we leave the ID blank. We use this. The second field we type in the user from, which is who poked the user. So this would be the user who's logged in, which is user, and username, which is the user whose profile it is. And if that all goes successfully, we could say username has been poked. So if we go back here and we refresh, we click poke, signal has been poked, which is correct. We go to pokes, and we click browse, and here it is, here's the poke. Although we want to input a check so that a user can't poke themselves. So what we'll do is we'll say if username equals user, then echo you cannot poke yourself, and then we could say or else, and then this is when we run the other code. So now if we refresh and I try to poke myself, it says you cannot poke yourself, and if we go to the database, refresh, this shouldn't have changed. Okay, so the next check we're going to do is we're just going to check whether the user has already been poked or not. So what we're going to do is sort of like the private message system, if it's been read or not. So we're going to what we can say is if before that we need to create a query. So we'll create another MySQL query, and we'll say check if poked, and it's going to equal MySQL underscore query select all from pokes where user2 equals user name, where user2 equals username and user from equals user. So that way it'll check if you've already poked the person, and then we can say num poke found equals MySQL num rows check if poked, and then simply we can say if, and then copy the name of this variable, equals 1, then echo you must wait to be poked back. Then otherwise, then we'll continue the rest of it. So if we refresh again, since that's the first check, we should get, since there is a poke in the database that matches that, you must wait to be poked back. And we can test this out by going to Francis and clicking poke. It says Francis has been poked, and then we refresh. Okay, we just reload this page and we click poke again. It says you must wait to be poked back, and because the remove friend sort of pushes it out over and makes everything look a bit odd, I'm going to fix that now. So we'll just look for it. Okay, so it says remove friend, so we'll say we could just change this to unfriend and see does it work. And there we go. Well, I removed it anyway, so we'll sort that out in the next video. Okay, so now we're going to create a new page, And this new page is going to be obviously a PHP page, and it's going to be called my pokes page. So what it is it's going to be similar to every other page. So I will copy this page, the home page, paste it in, and then get rid of anything we don't need. So what here we'll do is keep that in action. No, we will, if okay, so actually we'll get rid of all this and just start it fresh. So now all we've got on the my pokes page is just the header file, as you can see, and in the header file we are going to add a new button before logout. So it's up here. Copy that and just paste it in, and then we can change this to pokes. And refresh. Okay, so now we get that. So okay, what I'm gonna do is change that to messages, and from Cinema's profile I'll just change that to profile. Okay, so now that's a bit better laid out, and I'm going to get rid of this actually as well. So I'll just delete all this. That's a bit weird. Let's try it now. Okay, the reason that's like that is because it says snav. The div is still there, and we've left something in. Let's get rid of that. So let's try it now. And now there it's all sorted. So now if we're on the pokes page, we're simply going to create a MySQL query, check for pokes, which equals MySQL query select all from pokes where user 2 equals user, which is the logged in person, which is who we want to see the pokes. Then we just say poke equals MySQL fetch sock, and this is just check for pokes, and then finally it's while poke equals MySQL fetch sock check for pokes. Then we can create a variable called user2, which equals poke user2, and then copy it. And then obviously change it to user from. And then we can just echo you have been poked by, and then we can just say user from, and actually add a line break in here. So if we click on pokes and refresh, so well, just delete this and check, does it work now? Yeah, it says you've been poked by Cinema, and well, that's what we wanted it to do. So then we say you've been poked by Cinema, and then we could well, actually we'll end that and then append this one on separately. So we'd say you've been poked by Cinema, then we can get the code from another page. So if we open up MSG, or is it My Messages even, and we find the button reply, we can copy the code for that, and obviously create a form, and the action of this form is going to be my pokes.php, and the method is going to be post. So what we'll do is we'll change this to poke underscore user from poke back. Okay, so and obviously there's space in there. So if I refresh, we have a button that says poke back, except, okay, the reason it's in the wrong place is because we will copy that and put it inside the form and refresh, and now it says poke back. So to poke them, well, to get it to poke them back, there's two things we wanted to do. We wanted to delete the old poke from the database and to insert a new one for the new user, or for the user they just poked. So up here we'll say if at post poke underscore user from, and don't forget, because we're using single quotes, we need to include a variable, we do single quote space full stop space the variable name space full stop space single quote, which lets us use variables. So to make sure this works, we will echo it worked, and then we will refresh, click it, and we don't get anything, so it didn't work. So let's try getting, oops, rid of that. Refresh and click it. Okay, so I'll put this back and we'll figure out why this didn't work. Okay, actually you don't even need to check it out. The reason it didn't work is because we put it up here, and we should really have put it in here, because it's using the variable user from, which wasn't declared above the query it was created in. So if we click poke back, we get it worked, which is good. So here we can say you just poked user from, whoops, and then we click you just poked Cinema, which is okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to firstly create a query that says delete poke, which equals MySQL underscore query delete all from, okay, so it's not actually delete all, it's delete from pokes where user from equals user from, and user 2 equals user 2. And the next thing we want to do is create new poke, which also equals a MySQL query that says, well, actually we don't even need to write it out. We can go to profile and just copy the code we used. So copy that, and we'll just call it create new poke. And that should be it for the pokes. So we can just check to make sure this works correctly. So if we refresh and we click, actually we'll go to the database and we will check, or we will refresh the pokes page. We have 2 pokes, so this is the poke that will be deleted. So let's do it. So click poke back. Okay, so what it will do, since that the first query failed, we will have inserted in. So it turns out it didn't fail entirely. The first query was successful and the second one was also successful, except the variable, the user2 field wasn't filled in. And that is because we copied it from the profile page where the username variable was declared, but the username variable wasn't declared now, so we need to change this to user from. Okay, so now that's done, we should refresh. This is just a bug because of this. So if we click poke back, you just poked, and then for under normal circumstances that would have worked. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so I'm just gonna check to make sure that that bug wasn't just to check whether the bug was caused by the fact that the database layout was messed up because of the problems earlier, or if it actually isn't working. I emptied the table pokes, and I logged into Francis, sent myself a poke, and I'm going to click poke back. It says you just poked Francis. We click on pokes, and then now the ID is changed from 1 to 2, which is correct, which means it deleted the old poke, which is what we wanted it to do, and the new one is from Cinema, which is me, because that's who I was logged in as when I poked back, and the user 2 is Francis, which is correct. So after this, to prevent people being able to poke more than once, we're going to header location, and it's going to be my pokes. Oops. So let's try that. Well, okay, so it says you've been poked by, where is it? Here. And that's because it's out of the while loop. So what we're going to do to fix this is we're going to copy this, and simply just, oh wait, there is no while loop. We are simply just going to paste it up here, and refresh, because we don't even need to refresh or paste it up there. We'll just quickly do poke num equals MySQL num rows check for pokes. Then we just say if poke num equals 1 or equals 0, then echo you have no pokes yet, just say, and then else. So hopefully this will be correct. It says you have no pokes yet, which is correct. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And next time we will be doing the newsfeed, and as you can see, it is working. Okay, so if you liked this video, don't forget to like it, comment on it, subscribe to it, send me messages if you have any problems, and next time we will probably be doing the newsfeed. So see you next.